They were racist also in my junior high and in my high school. Like it was so bad. The background actually wasn't like that representative. Like it was dark at night, and like my sibling used a flashlight. So I sing all the parts. Like, I sing soprano, altos, bass, and tenors, and like I went through a lot of things, totally depressing, cyberbullying. At one point where they had to create fan pages of me, and they had to stalk my mom's Facebook account. And in the industry, apparently, I met a lot of new friends. They're actually so nice. And like, once you're in the industry, you're gonna meet a lot of cool people. Where have you been all this time?
Influencer Insight shares the battles, stories, success of the models, influencers, and entrepreneurs as they find the balance of being influential leaders today while creating long-lasting impact for the future.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of Influencer Insights, where I have Destiny Fomekung from Calgary, Alberta, joining me today. We talked about his last name. He said there's multiple pronunciations, so I tried. But it's really good to have Destiny on sharing his story. He reached out and said that he'd been listening to the podcast and heard a lot of the stories and is going through some of the similar journeys in his own life and wanted to share his perspective. So we're really glad to have you on, Destiny, and glad that you made time for us this morning.
Thank you so much, apparently, and it's an honor of me being here. So, yeah.
It's kind of cool because we've connected a little bit through some of the other people that have joined the podcast and some of the modeling crew in Calgary. So it's nice to make this connection with you. But tell us a little bit of what's going on with you. You're taking a gap year. You're jumping into modeling.
Yes.
You're going to do some acting, and did you say singing? Is that where you're at?
Yeah. So I'm doing modeling, dance, singing, and acting. So all four of them.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah. Recently I'm working on like my dance solo apparently, and like I'm trying to learn opera. Like I'm almost there apparently, and acting is
awesome.
just like my whole.
Hey models, thanks for tuning in today. Hope that you're enjoying the episode. It's Ben here. I just wanted to invite you to the Influencer and Model Support Group on Facebook, where we've got a great growing community of people looking to help, support, share tips and tricks on how to grow, become, and develop as a model. So go on Facebook, type in the search Influencer and Model Support Group, and you'll find us. Click join, you'll be added in, and you're going to find a great community of people to support you in your.
What have you gotten to do thus far? What kind of connections have you made?
Well, concerning modeling, I just joined modeling like this year apparently, and dance actually I've been doing that like my entire childhood, same with singing and acting. So like modeling right now is just like a pretty new thing to me because my entire childhood I was being told to do modeling and everything, but like back home from where I actually came from, it was so hard for me to find like any agencies that had to do with modeling and stuff like that. And so by the time that I moved here in Calgary, like in 2018, I didn't actually know that there was any modeling agencies. But like I came across some acting agencies and things like that. But like they were all scams apparently. Cause like they told me that I had to like fill in like this link apparently, and like I will receive like an email or something where they will send me like the address and everything. And they send me the address obviously, and now I now have to call the hotel to make sure that there was something happening there. But the person in the hotel actually told me that there was no event like that actually happening. So I was just like so shocked and so disappointed too. So
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's unfortunate the industry's got a lot of people looking to take advantage of others, and I think that happens far too often, I think, right? So what growing up for Destiny, what kind of prompted the interest in becoming a model, getting into the entertainment industry in the first place? Where did you start from in your background that became a thing?
It became a thing actually when last year, I think it was December 31st, 2022, like I just woke up one evening and I was just like, I want to do modeling. Like I told my sibling to take like digitals with me, and it was literally late at night, and like I had to fill in like this application forms. Like I filled in so many modeling applications form, but like some agencies didn't actually let me in because apparently the background actually wasn't like that representative. Like it was dark at night, and like my sibling used a flashlight, so like
oh wow,
it didn't actually go pretty much like how I actually expected. But I actually got signed into like this one agency, Patty Falconer, and it was my friend actually who like guided me throughout like this whole process thing. Because I reached out to her on Instagram and I was just like, oh, I'm trying to do more modeling and stuff, and she referred agency, and it's from there that I just began the process apparently. So
Took off from there. So
yes.
how did you prepare yourself? Because I think a lot of people have been through that too, where they're going to agency, they're trying to fill out the applications. There's lots of stuff. What do you think kind of made that difference with Patty Falconer? Did you have the right photos, or did you get some updated photos, or did you present yourself differently? What do you think?
Well, apparently, due to the application online, I don't think they actually viewed the application online because I had to go to like this open house where they had to do like scoutings and everything, and it's from there that they took like my measurements, like they took pictures of me and things like that, and I had to come back to do like my test shoot apparently, and it's from there that I had to sign like the contract, and like I had to start with like my portfolio website and things like that. So like yeah, that's it.
Okay. Seems to be something that you'd like to just step into and do, but there's a lot of little tips and tricks in the background that preparing yourself to get into the
Yes.
agency and that sort of thing to get there. So growing up as a kid, what was Destiny into? What was your background? Where are you from? What did your parents do? That kind of stuff.
Well, I'm from Cameroon. It's in Africa, and my
Nice.
parents actually they actually do a lot of things. Like they sing and like they dance. Apparently, like my mom sing and she dance, and like my dad actually he used to dance too. So like my whole background as a kid, actually, I grew up as a dancer, singer, and an actor. So like I know what it actually means by performing in front of thousands of people and things like that. Because my first dance performance, apparently, I performed in front of like the whole school, and it was like thousands of students just watching me. And like I was a little bit scared because like I was just like, it is my first time. Like I have to make sure that I'm good enough and things like that. And concerning singing, my mom is the one like who encouraged me like with the whole singing thing apparently. Because like I used to sing and I'm still singing right now, but while growing up, apparently, my parents used to sing, most especially like my mom. She sings a lot, and like it's from there I learned it from her, obviously. And like my sibling too used to do French rapping, like
Cool.
like the French rap and everything. Yeah, and it is from there that I learned from her like the French rap part. And from my dad, actually, I didn't learn anything concerning dance to him because like I just had blood and the spirit of dance and singing right into my soul immediately. So like that was just it. Yes.
Kind of goes a long ways when you've got that background, that connection through your parents to kind of build upon, right? I think a lot of people are, they want to get into doing something, whether it's acting or modeling or in even the entertainment industry, something different maybe, and they don't know how to quite get there because they don't have that background to get that training and just that experience. So that's pretty cool that they've done that for you and give you that basis. So right on.
Yeah.
What prompted the move to Calgary, and how are you enjoying that part?
So when I moved here in Calgary, it was pretty chilly. It was just cold. 'Cause
Cold,
I
yeah.
moved here like it was cold. It was really cold. And like I moved here like during December, and you could just imagine like the cold and everything and like the snow. And like I really enjoyed Calgary when I moved here, and like I had to go to like this one hockey game. Apparently, it was my first hockey game. I went there and it was just pretty entertaining. So
kind of a different experience than maybe back home would have had, right? So
yes.
Made home, are you still living with your parents yet, or you got your own apartment stuff in Calgary, or?
Well, right now I live with my parents right now. So I haven't yet like decided to have like an apartment, like all my own stuff. Like there's just a lot of things that I have to think through, and I have to make a wise decision about it. So
And that's why you got the gap year, right? That's all big part of that, right? Learning and figuring that out. So good for you. Right on. What kind of modeling have you been able to do? Have you been working on TFP, or have you had some actual gigs, runway, anything like that? Or
well, with my agency, Patty Falconer, like I had to try it for like this one runway thing that was actually called like the NOLA Chaos. I don't know if you've heard of it. I tried out for it and I was in, but the thing is that I couldn't actually walk the runway because like my portfolio didn't have lots of pictures. I only had 3 pictures, which were like my test shoot apparently. So like right now I'm doing like the CFAO runway thing. It is actually like my first time actually performing like at the CFAO 2023 fashion show. So like I'm just pretty excited about it.
nice.
And yeah, I haven't had any gigs yet because like I'm senior and like there's just still a lot that I have to do concerning like the portfolio and things like that. I'm building up my portfolio right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good place to start. I know there's, it's funny when I started modeling, like that's something very out of the normal from where my background and stuff is. And so people are always so like, are you going to go and, be on the runway all the time? Are you going to be in movies? Are you going to, and it's like, there's lots of different facets to it, right? And you can build a portfolio, you can do high fashion, you can do lifestyle, so there's lots of different avenues you can take in that as well. So.
And it is actually a whole process because like people just think that in modeling you won't have to invest into it. Meanwhile, it's a lie. Like you're gonna have to invest into it, like building up your portfolio. Like you have to pay people to take, not even people, you have to pay photographers either at your agency or outside your agency to like take pictures of you. And you also have to pay for like your modeling books and like your comp card and things. That is where the investment part is actually goes to, because like when you invest, it's for your own good. It's not as if the agency would take advantage of you like in some way or anything.
That's a good perspective. I know a lot of people get shut off real fast when they hear, oh, what do you mean I got to pay for all these photo shoots and stuff? It's like, well, it's just it's like going to school to become an engineer. Like you got to spend the time in university to do it, right? And so there's always some investment. So good outlook, and you're on the right track there for sure. So singing and dancing and stuff like that, how much of that do you do or you get to do?
I do a whole lot of things because like I do singing, most especially I used to be in a choir crew in my high school, and I used to be in a vocal jazz crew too. And one thing about me is that I sing all the parts. Like I sing soprano, altos, bass, and tenors. And like in a whole lot of that, I'm also like a soloist. And concerning dance, I can do a whole lot of things in dance, but the only thing that I'm trying to learn is acro. Acro is like the type of dance where like you have to do like some of like these movements on the floor where you either have to do like a backflip and things like that. That's where I'm trying to do mine. Even though I can do like the splits, apparently I'm pretty flexible in that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm so well, so like
you got me beat. Yeah.
I do a lot of dance. Yeah.
Nice. Good for you. Do you perform regularly, or do you have gigs that come up and you go do them, or how does that part work?
So apparently concerning dance, during my high school, I used to be like in the dance crew apparently, where like we had to perform during like the Remembrance Day. We had to perform at this East Side Dance Festival thing here in Calgary. It's at the University of Calgary. And like we had to go to competitions too. And last year, when I was in my grade 12 year, apparently, I only did 2 competitions because like that was during when the pandemic was over, and yeah, that was when the dancers had to get back on track immediately. But during my entire childhood, I've been to competitions. I already know what the whole thing is about, apparently.
How far have you gotten to travel doing that? Is it just all in Calgary, or have you been outside the city?
Currently, we've been outside of the city to the dance competitions that I have been, and we've been in the city too. But the dance competition that I had back home, it was mostly like a broadcast TV channel and things like that, where like we had to do the competition on live apparently, where thousands of people will be watching you through the TV, and like,
no pressure, right?
It was a little bit scary. It was a little bit like a lot of pressure because like when you hear the word that you'll be live streamed or something like that, you're just gonna be like, oh, my family will be watching me, my parents, my friends, and like you just have to freak out a little bit. But other than that, you all just be all good. So yeah.
Yeah. So high stakes pressure in the dance, but anyway, right? To watching the audience, and the cheer of the crowd can be good, but it can also be a bit of a little intimidating, I'm sure, at times too, right? So
yeah, at times. Because like one thing about actually doing like a dance choreo on stage, actually, you have to actually make sure that you're not like so zoomed into the audience or like so distracted by the audience apparently. Because like the first time I had to do like a dance performance apparently, I was a little bit distracted by the audience because like most of them will laugh, most of them will like make fun of you and things like that. And like I was like a little bit freaking out about it because I was just like, am I doing the right movements, or like am I really screwing this up and something like that? But in time, I grew up into that whole spectrum apparently, where like I just had to like don't care about the audience, but like work really hard in making sure that all of the progress that you've done through like the whole dance choreo thing is apparently right, and it's up to your level too. So like right now, if I'm about to do like a performance or anything, I wouldn't actually care about the audience. All I would care about is literally me doing the whole choreo thing. And if I had and if I have like a solo in like that moment and everything, I use that time to shine and everything. So like I just go right straight onto it.
Nice. A little bit of development, but in the confidence, obviously, but also just mental space too, right? Because it's a lot to get yourself kind of psyched up and into that place of ready to go and just to do it, right? So curious what you do, because performing in general can be a lot of pressure for anybody. Even the big stars, they talk about how they still get nervous and stuff as they grow on. But
Yes.
what do you do for yourself to kind of like get yourself psyched up for a show or performance?
That's a really good question. To be honest, I just have like this spirit of confidence inside me where like I'm like, am I allowed to swear or anything?
Sure, go for
Okay. Where I'm just like I'm in the I don't give a fuck mode phase because like
it.
I
Get
just
her
have
done,
like
eh?
a confidence apparently, yeah, inside me where I'm just like I'll just go for it. And before I go on stage, I always take deep breath and I make sure that like my anxiety actually doesn't like psych into like the whole performance thing. Where like last year in my grade 12 year, it was a little bit tricky for me because my anxiety and my panic attack side in on stage, and most people realized it. And I don't know if it was because of the atmosphere here in Calgary, because I remember when we used to have like a smoke outbreak or something like that. So during that smoke, apparently I had a dance show, and during that dance show, I passed out like during the 2 days that I had to perform. The one of the days apparently I passed out backstage after I had performed this one piece, and I was like in about 5 or 6 different pieces where I had to like go on stage, come back, change, go back, and just back and forth and things like that. And the second night of the show, I passed out on stage on a contemporary piece. Like it was really hard because like I was just like I was hydrated enough. Like I checked myself up, I took deep breaths and everything. But like as time moves on, I think that's just it. But it was a pretty scary thing though. It was really, really scary.
No kidding.
But yeah.
Do you remember, like, have you always kind of had those panic attacks or that fainting and that kind of thing younger, or did it just develop in the industry, or how do you think that came about?
Um I had my panic attacks ever since I moved here in Calgary. Like I
Oh,
had symptoms of it. Yeah.
okay.
Yes, like apparently during like my junior high and my high school things, like I went through a lot of things where it was mentally depressing, cyberbullying. I was being bullied, and I was just like so depressed in a way that I was just like I might just give up in life and everything. But
Hmm.
during those 2 days that I actually passed out on stage, I don't actually know what came over me, to be honest.
Sure.
Maybe I was just mentally drained or like exhausted or
Yeah.
something like that. But like after I did pass out, I did have to go check myself.
Yeah.
And the doctor actually told me that it was just nothing that I don't have any breathing problem or anything like that, or any asthma or something like that. That it was just my anxiety apparently, and like
Hmm.
it's from there that I had to start taking like my anxiety pills and things like that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
You mentioned the bullying and the cyberbullying and stuff like that. Like, what was the catalyst? What brought that on that people would treat you like that?
So in junior high, I won't actually tell my junior high on here apparently, but in my junior high, I was like pretty new because I had just recently moved here in Calgary, and like I moved to like this junior high that was like a 5 or 10 minutes walk away from my house.
Okay.
And apparently the students, they were just being weird to me because like it's either I was just too confident enough, or like they were seeing me as their own reflection apparently.
Hmm.
Because it was crazy at one point where they had to create fan pages of me, and they had to stalk my mom's Facebook account to like use her pictures on one of my fan pages apparently, which they actually did. And it was just so crazy because I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like y'all have really gone too far. And
Yeah.
the thing is that I knew most of them who actually did that. The fact I had to go say something to the principal because like I had already had enough of it. And the principal actually, they didn't even do anything about it. Like a teacher will watch you being bullied and they wouldn't actually do anything about it. Like they would just walk past you as if it was
No.
nothing. And concerning cyber bullying stuff, apparently I got bullied online during like that whole stage. I got sent death threats and things like that, like go kill yourself, go off yourself,
Oh,
like
really?
you're not worth it and things like that. And like it was just so enough. And weird things that my parents didn't actually know about it because I didn't want to get my parents involved into it. Because
Sure.
like during that time and everything, they're like, oh, if you involve your parents, you'll be called a snitch and like you'll get treated like snitches, get stitches or something like that. So I didn't want to actually involve them into like the whole thing. Time I actually healed, like I healed all by my own self. That was like pretty much of like my junior high experience with like bullying and things like that. And
Wow.
during my high school year, I got really depressed and like my anxiety just kicked in real quick. When I used to be friends with like these people apparently, and like they all switched up on me, like they turned their back against me just to hurt me and like
Mm.
say hurtful stuff to me and everything. And it was just like a whole lot of things for me to process. And it really kicked in so badly where like my solo got taken away. Like I was supposed to have a solo for my year and dance show apparently, but my dance teacher apparently told me that I don't think you're ready yet for your solo. Like you need time for you to actually heal. Like so you need to
Mm.
take good care of like your mental health and things like that. And you need to see like a counselor or like it's therapy. And it's from there that I just decided to sign myself up to like it's therapy apparently, and like she's been helping me out all this way up to now. So
Well,
yes,
that's awesome to hear that you got a little bit of help. It's unfortunate that was your welcome to Canada moment, but
I
it's
guess.
yeah, that's not. I don't understand how humanity can be so cruel to one another, and it's really
Right.
unfortunate that people even consider saying or sending or talking about things like that. That's just that's unbelievable. But what I guess how's it been since you kind of got some of that help and you I mean your dance teacher helped you out and that sort of thing, get you kind of started on a different track. What have been some other things that have helped you kind of progress through that destiny a little bit? And are you still experiencing the same stuff?
To be honest, I'm still doing like the whole therapy right now, and it's been going
Good.
good because like my whole dance thing has been helping me, like dance, singing, acting, and modeling. It's been helping me to like to control like my emotions and things like that. So I guess that's it. And my dance teacher actually, shout out to her for helping me, to be honest, because I don't think that without her, apparently, I will actually be where I am at today. Like
Definitely.
if it wasn't for her, apparently, like I would just be drained. Like I would be totally drained, to be honest. Yeah, but I'm glad that I actually have the help right now, and like I'm glad that I'm still taking my anxiety pills. Even though sometimes I need to take like a break off of it, because like
Yeah.
there's some side effects in like my anxiety pills where like I take two of them. So there's like this one pill where I have to take whenever I'm having like a serious panic attack, like immediately, and the
Okay.
other pill apparently I have to take before I go to bed. So for like things like nightmares and things like that, and breathing so bad and things like that. So like right now I'm just taking a break off of it because like I realized that when I got back into it, this one time like I think it was a few weeks ago, I realized that I was still having like those side effects. So I had to go see my doctor and he told me that I should take a break off of it whenever I have like those side effects and things like that.
Sure.
So
That's probably a good note to make because I think a lot of people maybe misdiagnose themselves and stuff like that. But I mean, the fact that you're talking to your doctor and finding out when it's, appropriate to take a break or get back on them or whatever, I think that's really wise for you to take that on. That was a good approach. So commend you for doing
yes.
that because it's a lot of people, they sit their whole lives and fight this stuff in the background and they don't want to talk about it and they don't want to get out and just accept that it's part of life, right? It's just things we got to figure out and move on from, right? So
Yes.
do you have anybody else in your life or your world that kind of experienced this stuff as well that you've been able to walk alongside or that you've I don't know mentored or maybe even helped you along as well or
Apparently, the people that I used to be friends with, I used to help them a lot with things like anxiety and like with things like so when they have like any social anxiety or like they're dealing with something and I am your friend or if I know you and you reach out to me, obviously, like I will do my best to
mm-hmm.
actually help you and things like that.
Cool.
And right now in my life, apparently, I don't have like any friends right now. I'm sorry if they're actually saying this, but like they've just all split up and like they have just like moved on with your life and things like that. So like right now, it's just high time so for me to like just move on with my life respectfully. And in
Mm-hmm.
the industry, apparently, I met a lot of new friends. that's actually so nice. And like,
Yeah.
that's one thing about modeling too. Once you're in the industry, you're gonna meet a lot of cool people where like you just be like, where have you been all this time? You meet it.
Mm,
Like it's just a fun experience too. So
yeah. Do you feel that kind of restores some of that, I don't know, the pain, the things that you went through in high school, junior high, like does finding a new community kind of help revive your, your faith in people or your hope for a better future and that kind of thing?
that's a really good question. Right now, I'm in a stage where like my trust issues apparently have just gone up like a whole lot of time because like I just had to end the friendship with my ex-best friend apparently, and like right now I'm at the phase where like I don't actually think I can actually trust somebody like how I've actually did in like my past friendships and things like that. So like referring to the junior high stuff, I really don't think that I've moved on concerning it, but I will never forget like the whole thing itself. Like I will never actually like it will be in me, but like I've already moved on and everything. But like
No, that's
yeah,
understandable that those kind of dark moments of life, they sometimes permeate for a while, right? So,
yes.
but
And not to forget, apparently in junior high, I got oh my god, like there were racists also in my junior high and in my high school. Like it was so bad. Where like if somebody were racist to you, you will literally know that they're being racist to you. Like there was just a lot of things. There was lots of discrimination and things like that.
mhm,
And if you were part of like the LGBTQ community, that would just be so bad because like they like, oh, if you're part of like this community, like people and things like that. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Because like we are all still human though.
that's right.
And the fact that people are trying to judge people from the way they look is just not it. It's just not, like just grow up immediately. Because like
Yeah.
we are this new generation where like people apparently don't care if you're like gay, if you're bi or things like that. But there's some part of people where they literally care about it. They're like, oh, I can't be friends with you, or like they will be slowly backing off of their friendship and everything, and you will realize it like immediately. So
Mm,
like I really don't think that it's worth it to have people who wouldn't be there for you during those hard times. Yeah,
sure.
I really don't think so.
Yeah. It everybody's experience in life is a little different, and the things we do, where we come from, all of those environments do affect us and our outlook on life. And yeah, if there's a lot of hypocritical thoughts, I think, out there too, right? Where, you can praise this direction, but you all of a sudden behind are hating on somebody else too. And I don't think that's really a good way to be either, right? So we're all, like you say, human, and we all need to be respected. So I like your outlook on that
Exactly.
a lot there, Destiny. So what are some, I don't know, big ambitions for your gap year? You're taking some time, like you said. What do you hope to accomplish? What are your kind of goals? Are you
I wish to be an international model. Like my goals
cool?
apparently is to fly out of the country and like have gigs and like meet up with like my inspirations. Cause like the people that inspired me, I would just list them. Cause like the first person that inspired me was Alton Mason. The second was Naomi Campbell. The third was Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid. And the fifth one that's been inspiring me right now is Yasmin Ronaldo. Like, oh my God.
Cool.
Like, I really love them. And like, I watch like the runway shows and everything. I watch a lot of like Vogue YouTube videos and everything. So
Sure.
like, I don't know if you watch like the Get Ready With Me for like my runway things and things like
Some of
that. I
those, yeah.
watch lots of videos of it. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, that's pretty much it about my goals is to meet them one day apparently and tell them that I love them,
What are some things from
to be
those,
honest.
we'll say, your research that you've done on some of the other success that the other people have had that have inspired you? What are some things that stand out to you as good practices or things that you've been trying or you would do?
Well, some of those things about it is not being sensitive in the industry.
Mm,
Because if you're being sensitive in the industry, it will waste lots of times. Like just be yourself. Because like what I mean by you waste lots of time is that you would get distracted easily and you wouldn't be yourself. Because like the director apparently in the industry will look for somebody that isn't sensitive in the industry and that they're being themselves to actually work on like the runway shows and things like that. But like if you're being sensitive, I don't think that it will actually be a good thing in life. So for you to like be sensitive about, so like just mind your own business and just be yourself and enjoy, have fun.
Have fun. Yeah,
So
that's a big part of the whole thing, right? So
yeah,
cool. Well, those are some really good points to hit. I think a lot of people are
yes,
going through things and they, how do I get started and how do I make that leap? And I think that's a really good place to go just to watch those people that have inspired you, right? So tapping back to the mental health piece and that sort of thing. If somebody else is going through that kind of stuff, Destiny, what are some things that you would, recommend that people, maybe they're getting bullied, maybe they're having anxiety. What would be the first step you'd say to make a change for themselves?
reach out to somebody that actually cares about you. And if you don't have like, I know everybody at least must have one person that cares about you, but like if you don't have them, apparently reach out to like any therapy here or wherever you are. Like just search up like counseling and things like that, and it's from there that they'll actually help you.
Makes a big difference when you just
Yes.
connect with somebody, right? So
And like if you're going through something also, don't be shy to reach me out through like my DMs and everything. Like I'll actually help you out. Obviously, like I'm here. I've been through all of that. So like,
that's a big hit. Yeah, Destiny's
mhm,
inbox is an open book. So
exactly.
I like that. Appreciate your willingness to give back to people, right? Because that's what this is all about, right? So what is your Instagram handle or Facebook? What do you like to use that way?
I don't use Facebook that much, but right now I'm taking a break off of social media. But my
Cool.
Instagram right now is Destiny, my full last name. So it's spelled DESTINY FOMEKUNG. So like
Nice.
that's my Instagram. And my Facebook, apparently I really don't use Facebook that much. I only use Facebook right now for like the modeling group chat so that I have right now with CFAO. So
Instagram, I think, is what everybody's hanging out on there anyway. So if they were looking to get a hold of you, and hopefully they take some time to go and check out your photos and some of the content that you're creating there, because I think that's it's a great way to support you and get inspired for somebody else too when they're growing and stuff. So you're going to be sharing some of your journey, I'm hoping, on social media throughout the next year with your gap year and your international plans and that sort of thing.
yeah, I hope so.
Good. We'd like to all see that. So
Yeah.
see how you make out there. So
And also, if you reach out to me on Instagram and I don't respond, I'm so sorry, but like I'm at a time where like I don't visit social media that much because I'm just trying to take time for like myself and everything. But like
good.
if you reach out to me and I respond to you on time, you're lucky because right now I had to install Instagram just to communicate with you right now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, good. No, that's a good note to make. That being said, if the international plans go really, really well and you end up with, like 1 million followers on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever overnight, what would be your big message that you want to share with people on there?
Is that don't be shy to be yourself because I know that there's a lot of people out there that they have talents, but thing that they're mostly shy of is that what if I do this and people don't like me, or what if I do this and like my anxiety just kick in and I just like withdraw from like the whole thing. One thing about me is that before I had joined my high school dance crew, apparently, I used to be friends with like this group of people like in my grade 10 year, and I joined my dance crew in grade 11. Meanwhile, if I wasn't actually friends with them, apparently in grade 10, I would have joined in grade 10. And when I joined in grade 11, I just became myself. And my dance teacher actually saw something in me. That's what she actually told me. She was just like, "There's you have lots of potential and like you're so talented and everything that like I'm glad to have you in this crew." Same with my music teacher though. She said the same thing to me. And like if you're like the type of person who has like those talents and things like that, don't be shy to just open up, be yourself. Because like just imagine if I wouldn't have joined that dance crew, what would be of me today? Dance would have just like faded out of my life like immediately. And if I hadn't joined like my vocal jazz and like my choir crew, I wouldn't have been anybody today right now. Because like those are the same things that inspired me to become who I am today, apparently. And I had to step up to into modeling, and I had to just do modeling because I knew I had the spirit in me. Same with acting too. Like I just had to just be myself, open up to the world, because like there are people out there that need you. So
Well said. Well said. And I think stepping up to be an influencer, which in a large part is just about having an impact in other people's lives, doing what you're doing, I think you're having a great platform there to begin their destiny and into your journey. So thank you for inspiring others, and thank you for giving your time and sharing with us today on some of the things that you've been through, because I think people need to hear that, and we all just need to know we're not alone in the things we're doing, right? So
yes.
right on. Well, thank you for joining. Appreciate that. And we're going to catch up with you down the road someplace on your international runway and see how you're making out down the road there. So take care for today.
Thanks, you too.
Hey there, really appreciate you joining the Influencer Insights podcast today. If you've enjoyed this episode, I just would ask that you share it with a friend and give the video a like or the podcast a rating, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite other player anywhere else. That really helps us share the message and grow this community as well. So thanks for that. Take care. Have a great day.